Ram, that was a very powerful testimony and story that, you know, all of us could hopefully be able to find some light in. And especially the way the children have been dealing with it and still waiting all those hours and days just to get out of Sudan. Allah, there's so many people there that don't even have passports or visas that are even allowed to escape the country. They're just stuck there. So thank you for bringing that up. Thank you. Next, got my brother from Bristol. His name is Black Ram. This man is a rapper, but more of a wordsmith and a poet. And I'll tell you why, or rather I don't need to tell you anything. I think his words will say it all. So please put it up together for Black Ram.
So, not much has been said about the UAE's role in the war in Darfur. So basically they're supplying the rapid support forces with this heavy duty weapons, and so the thing is they're trying to use them as a proxy to basically displace everybody from Sudan so that they can have their own settler colonial land. Basically they're extracting resources from our country, whether it's gold, whether it's agricultural land. So right, without further ado, I'm going to recite some lyrics from one of my new songs called Tears for Sudan, and basically it goes like this. My people are dying, Abu Dhabi supplying, aligning with this vicious malicious militia. Everybody suspicious, solicit ulterior motives. Suppose it's a mission plundering gold, they chose it. Explosive, expose it by arming their underling, the wandering, the running guns, springing, the thundering and smothering, leaving nothing the governing, the suffering, the food shortages. Examine the famine as the loot, forces the rapid support, forces the rabid who torture the savage, the cause damage and panic, carnage, harming, alarming, killing the farming and agriculture, our culture, burning the crops, our heritage was edited, the benefit when they walk, so when did they stop? Never the parasites.
Lying with this vicious malicious militia. Everybody suspicious, solicit ulterior motives. Suppose it's a mission plundering gold, they chose it. Explosive, expose it by arming the underling, the wandering, running guns, bringing the thundering and smothering, leaving nothing the governing, the suffering, the food shortages. Examine the famine as the loot. Forces is rapid support, forces the rabid who torture the savage, that cause damage and panic, carnage, harming, alarming, killing the farming and agriculture, our culture, burning the crops, our heritage was edited, the benefit when they rob. So when did they stop? Never. The parasites burning at the Fahrenheit, the measure of the shattered life. So many of us scattered and battered, seeking some refuge, and yet you follow us upon the follow up, to swallow up the land. Black Ram, and the new single is called Tears for Sudan. And if you want to follow me on Instagram or Spotify, or all proceeds from the song and from my EP go towards helping people in Sudan, whether it's via the Sudanese SAPA or Hanabnihu. What are the organizations, Fashi? The Sudanese charities. Hanabnihu is one of them. Philaheart, SDN. Any one of these charities, the proceeds from my songs will go towards that, or my EP, my album is on the way as well. So I'll pass the mic on to Bashir. Black Ram!
His ones is one of those ones that you have to sit with the lyrics and break it down stanza by stanza, and there's a few magical gems in there. Now, I think us Sudanese have said more than a few words, right? Yeah? Now, we want to, of course, have our Palestinian brethren, and we're all together for this cause. So, without further ado, as I look awkwardly around waiting for the person to come up, don't mind me. Well, until then,
guys, there is a water bottles there. If you want to have one, you can have one. Okay, it's by there. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, up until coming now. All right, up until then, here's our demands that we have for Sudan, and to hopefully make it into a better country and a better place than we are currently seeing it. The UK is complicit because from 2013 to 2020, during its time in the EU, it's been supporting the Khartoum process, selling arms to UAE and to militias, which are these very same militias, and the weapons used that were bought from the EU are used to attack migrants and to make sure they don't escape their country. The reason why Russia still stands against international sanctions is because of the gold plundered and looted by the militias, not only in Sudan but across Africa, that is being sent to UAE, that is then later sent to Russia. These proxy groups, these mercenary groups, such as Wagner, such as the Africa Corps, such as the PMCs that even Eric Prince of Blackwater have supported. These mercenary and PMC groups are littered across the Middle East and across Africa, doing the bidding of neo-imperialism and their agendas. Right now, we are at a turning point where we have to either stand against not only state actors, but non-state actors that act on behalf of the state, doing it underhandedly so they can have clean hands afterwards and say it wasn't us, it was them, because them very same PMCs and mercenary groups that are operating in Sudan also operate in Palestine. They also operate there on behalf of the British government or the American government, but because they don't have the British badge or the call sign, they can just easily claim, oh, we're just a private company. But this is the truth, and this is what we're seeing in front of us and happening all around us on nearly every single day and scale. Some people are seeing the conflicts and wars around the world, but a lot of people aren't. This year, 2024, has been dubbed the Super Bowl of democracy because there's 40 elections happening all around the same time, including this country and the US. What does this mean? It means there won't be enough cameras or media or attention on those catastrophes happening around the world, from the human rights abuses down to climate change. We won't see enough news because the media will not allow it. Because they will put their cameras in front of a lying politician instead of the person bleeding, who's starving, and who doesn't have enough to even survive for one more hour. This year could very well be not the Super Bowl of democracy, but the World Cup of atrocities, because the way we've been seeing things, not just for the past 7 months in Gaza, but for 1 year in Sudan and across the whole board, it seems like the West wants to take a blind eye, even though it has its hands filthy with blood all inside the countries that we are protesting for and raising our voices for and about. The UK must acknowledge its complicity in Israel, Palestine, and also in its complicity in Yemen with bombing Houthis who are trying to protect their land, and their complicity thanks to in arming militia groups and doing weapons deals and arms deals with the UAE and with other neo-imperialist powers within the region just to further their own agenda. There is no innocent country here. There is no innocence. And if they try to, I don't know, human rights wash their image, just remind them and always remember, we will not be here screaming at the top of our voices and losing all that we can with our vocal cords if it wasn't for the British government putting its filthy fingers in every single pie, believing that it should and believing it has the right to. It doesn't have the right to. Just as we said in this march and these chants, leave Gaza, leave Darfur, leave Gaza, leave Sudan, leave Palestine, leave Sudan, and leave all these countries to allow them to govern themselves. They do not need your intervention. No, these people have self-determination and agency, just like all of us, just like the British government and all the other governments out there that wishes or believes it's better than others. We could do it. We just need you to hear it. Thank you very much.